Hi, I'm Troy Bailey and welcome to the Comic Book Movie Collector's Guide, the show about collecting all things superhero cinema. And today we are looking at Batman and Bill. Let's get into it. Batman and Bill is a full-length documentary film with a runtime of 92 minutes. The film did not appear in theatres but premiered on the streaming service Hulu on the 6th of May 2017 and was later released on DVD and Blu-ray only in Germany on the 17th of October 2019 by KSM Film with no 4K HD release as of this video. It was written and directed by Don Argott and Sheena M. Joyce, with the film being produced by 914 Pictures and Thruline Entertainment, and was distributed by Hulu streaming services. The 2012 book, Bill the Boy Wonder, the secret co-creator of Batman by Marc Tyler Nobleman, served as the inspiration for this documentary, and the development of the documentary was announced in 2016. The documentary looks into the story behind the book Bill the Boy Wonder, secret co-creator of Batman, and how it challenges the notion by pointing out how Bill Finger, and not Bob Kane, is the actual person behind Batman and its mythos. Okay, the disc in case. I have the Blu-ray copy here. Now, look, this is very simple. Like, it's a very simple, but it's also very effective too. I love how the shadow of the guy turns into Batman's shadow. That's really cool. I like that. And of course the spine, as one of the thinner cases too. I don't mind the logo as such, but it's very basic. It's I mean, it's all supposed to be cartoony, I suppose. On the back, same there, not a real lot going on. And worst part, it's in German because this is the only way you can get it on DVD. So Lord knows what that says. But overall, and then of course the disc. I do love a good color disc, and that does look good. I like that. I do like the look of that. And you got the cover again. It's just printed on the same side again. Don't know what that's about. Anyway, look, overall it's not too bad. They could have jazzed it up a little bit for my liking, but overall, not a bad job. So for that, I'm going to go with 6 out of 10. The story and the script, I mean, wow, this is such a compelling story about two men and how they created one of the greatest fictional characters of all time together, but veered off on two completely different life journeys, with one fading away to obscurity and dying a poor man, and the other to a life of fame and fortune, but all predicated on lies and deception. Now, this documentary follows the story of Marc Tyler Nobleman, a writer and comic book fan, and how he uncovers one of the greatest travesties in literary history, that an unknown comic book writer, Bill Finger, had actually created the character Batman, and the man that everybody knew as the guy that created him, Bob Kane, was actually nothing more than a liar and a scammer who just took full credit for it. But on this journey of discovery, he finds Bill Finger's granddaughter and helps her change the course of history and get Bill Finger credited for his contribution to creating Batman. This doco does a great job of telling two stories. One, that of Bill, a man who never got credited for what he deserved, and the other about Mark, a guy who was out to get justice for Bill, just like a real Batman, you could say. And with that, all I can give this is a score of 28 out of 30. From page to screen. Now, this documentary is inspired by the book Bill the Boy Wonder, the secret co-creator of Batman by Marc Tyler Nobleman, which is the basis of this film, and it follows his journey from start to finish. As far as the people involved in the story go, they do a fair job of telling the truth without, trying to be too biased. But I feel like it was hard not to be with the overwhelming evidence to support their case. Now, this really paints a picture of what type of man Bob Kane was and what he did to keep this lie going till the day he died. It felt for me that not only did Bob spend all his time letting everyone know that he created Batman, it kind of came across as if he was trying to convince himself that he did just as much as anyone else. Look, which kind of made Bob Kane seem like he was either this con artist or he was delusional, or maybe a bit of both. As you definitely walk away from this doco with a new outlook on the so-called creator of Batman, Bob Kane. Look, check out this picture I found here. This pretty much sums up how Batman was created. It really shows how little Bob did, or Bob came up with, and how much Bill actually created. I think it's a great cartoon. Anyway, with that, I'm going to give this a score of 17 out of 20. Special features. Well, there's nothing really on here other than a trailer for the doco itself and a few pictures. But if you do want to see more, just type in Marc Tyler Nobleman into YouTube and you will find heaps of videos of him doing interviews and talks about this doco and his book as well. So, you'll have to search to find some more, but there is some stuff out there. But, not much here on the disc. So with that, all I can give this is a 1 out of 10. The critics' review. Now, the critics' score came in at 88% and the audience score was 89%. Now, that's a solid score across the board from both sides of the fence. And I think that's the beauty of this doco, is it's well done and it appeals to everyone, not just comic book fans, as the story itself, at its core, is really about getting justice for someone who was done wrong. And I think that's something a lot of people can relate to. Anyway, if we round it up, we get a score of 9 out of 10. My review. So look, I really enjoyed this doco. I found it really informative. And I felt that they did a good job of kind of representing both sides. But it's kind of hard when one side doesn't exactly want to talk about it, which kind of usually means someone's got something to hide, which in my view only strengthens the validity of the case put forward for Bill Finger. And I've got to say, before I saw this doco, I was never really a big fan of Bob Kane the man. He was always just a bit pompous, I suppose. And let's just say after this, I'm even less of a fan. Bob, you should be ashamed of yourself, mate. You really should.
You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
It's such a sad story of betrayal and deception on such a grand scale, with a lie that ran for almost 80 years. But as the film goes on, it kind of gives you hope that justice will be served. And it does in the end, which is good. It sort of ends on that high note. It's such a good doco. It tells a great story with a triumphant outcome. Look, it's definitely worth your time and a real must-watch for any comic book fan or anyone who just likes a good story. So with that, I'm going to give this a resounding score of 19 out of 20. Final thoughts. So first up is collectability, and if we look on the collector scale, I would say this would be for your comic book fan and up. This is such a great doco that any comic book fan or Batman fan for that matter of fact will be interested in. Now, as far as your availability goes, this one is on, I'm going to go with the very rare side of things, as you can only buy this from Germany, and as far as I could find, you can really only buy it from one source. And as far as, there being anything out there on the secondary markets like eBay, I haven't seen anything. So it is very limited to get your hands on a physical copy. Now, as far as your average price goes, you're looking at somewhere between $35 to $70 for DVD and $39 to $75 for Blu-ray with nothing on 4K HD. Now, for the final score, we get a grand total of 80 out of 100. That is a pretty good score for a great doco. This is definitely a must watch for any comic book fan. Look, do yourself a favor, go out and get a copy. But look, if you can't, I get that because it's hard, at least give this one a watch. You can't miss out on seeing this one.
Bob Kane did not want Bill Finger's story told and took tremendous offense at it.
Thank you so much for watching. Look, I really hope you enjoyed this episode, and if you did, why not hit the like, subscribe and notification buttons, as it really helps the channel out and I really do appreciate it. Thank you very much to you and everyone else who already has. Also, let me know in the comments down below if you enjoyed this doco and if you are lucky enough to have a copy in your collection. Also, if you would like to request a review or you want to see something different on the channel, by all means, you can contact me at thecomicbookmoviecollector@gmail.com, or you can hit me up on the socials at comicbookmoviecollector on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. All the links will be down below. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.